Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the Psych coach, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the benefits of no contact. If you're experiencing a breakup and someone has broken up with you, the chances are you will have a deep yearning to maintain some form of a connection with your ex-partner. That could be in the form of texting, internet stalking, speaking on the phone, coming up with reasons why you need to meet to exchange items that you've had in each other's houses. Whatever it is, there isn't a benefit to it in the short term. You need to try and tune in to why it's in your interest to cut off contact, certainly in the short term, and what you can do to try and keep yourself motivated to reduce that contact. Listen up for 5 reasons why the no contact rule is so important. Tip number 1 is that it provides a space to grieve. You cannot get away from the fact that grieving is an inevitable part of the ending of a relationship. Some people may have grieved the loss of a relationship before it actually ends. For other people, it may suddenly hit them on one day. Whatever has caused the relationship to break down and whatever has caused the grief to kick in, you can't avoid it. It's not something that lots of distraction will help. It's not something that maintaining contact with your ex will help. You need to go through the grieving process, and that means feeling the pain of the heartbreak. What can happen if you maintain contact is you temporarily ease that pain. You don't have to face that music, but all you're doing is kicking the can down the road. Trust the fact you need the grieving process to start. You need to allow yourself to feel the sadness, and that there is a benefit to that, because when people start a grieving process, there is an end to it too, and you will come to a point where the light is at the end of the tunnel. You're delaying that process by maintaining contact. Benefit number 2 is that it stops you slipping back into having contact. What's the harm in sharing a text? What's the harm in quickly sending a message to see how your ex-partner is? What's the harm in just having a friendly phone call when everything's really amicable? Well, the problem is you're delaying the grieving process and you're increasing the likelihood of slipping back into the relationship. Even if the relationship isn't on the cards and you've both agreed that it's not going to be a relationship, neither of you are compatible for each other, and it's a definite no-go, you're still at risk of slipping back into the communication patterns that were similar in your relationship. And that's not healthy. You're essentially stopping the process of moving on by maintaining a pseudo relationship, even if it doesn't feel like a relationship. Stopping the communication gives you both a sense of what life is going to be like without the crutch of one another. And that's a feeling you need to get used to sooner rather than later, because all you'll do by maintaining contact is delaying what you need to get on with. It's having no contact. That's what a relationship ending means, no contact. Benefit number 3 of not having contact is that it gives you structure. Structure in your day is really important. When you're feeling sad, it may feel like you don't want time to pass, you just want to stay in bed, you don't want to go outside, but of course that's going to make you feel worse. What's going to further compound that is your structure being based around waiting for a text message, waiting for a phone call, waiting for an email that never arrives, sitting looking at your phone as the minutes tick by on the clock. By having no contact, you're removing the time that's going to be wasted on waiting for calls and texts that potentially aren't going to happen. And you are forcing yourself to create a structure that is independent from your ex-partner. Having a structure where you're in charge of your time, where you're your own boss, where you can think about what you want to do in the day, or rather what you need to do to feel slightly better. And it means your day's not going to revolve around your ex-partner like it may have historically done. It might not be something you want to do. You may not want structure that's totally based on what your needs are and not your ex-partner's, but it's really important that that happens. Get out of the rut of waiting for texts, longing for a reply and hoping they will send a message. No contact means you can start building a healthy structure based on your needs, not based on the hope of something that shouldn't be happening anyway. Benefit number 4 of the no contact rule is it builds self-respect. Perhaps you got to a point in your relationship where you felt like you'd let your self-respect go. Perhaps you were tolerating behaviour that you really shouldn't have done. Perhaps you should have said no a long time ago to certain things that were going on. If that's you, it means your self-respect may have decreased. Maybe that's had a knock-on impact on your confidence. So having no contact means you can start building your self-respect again. You can be boundaried. You're the one saying, I'm not going to engage in contact. I'm not going to play games where we're going to have a bit of contact here and a little bit of contact there, and then we're not going to have any. You're being the one that's being boundaried, and doing that means you can have some self-respect. You can reclaim potentially some of the power that you lost in the relationship by potentially being so permissive to behaviour that wasn't acceptable. By reclaiming the power and boosting your self-esteem and acting consistently with having more robust self-worth, you're sending out a very clear message, not only to your ex-partner, but more importantly to yourself of, I am worth being treated well. I'm worth not waiting around for someone. I am worth getting on with my life. Hold on to that as a really important reason for not having contact. And tip number 5 is reconnection with meaningful things in your life. By not having any contact with your ex-partner and by saving a lot of time on phone calls and looking at your phone waiting for messages to come through, you're allowing yourself time to think about what else is meaningful in your life. Perhaps you neglected friends and family and hobbies and other interests in pursuit of a relationship that became all-consuming. Now is the time to think about what else is meaningful in my life. What do I want to be meaningful in my life? And how can I reconnect or indeed connect with those things? Grieving is a really, really intense process, and the pain of it can be helped when you start thinking about what it is you want from your life, what is it that's meaningful in your life, and how it is you can reconnect with those things. So the time you're saving by not having contact and by allowing yourself to grieve and move on from the end of the relationship means you have more time to focus on the things that are going to get you through in the long run and that are going to make your life more fulfilling, the things that are meaningful. Sit down and have a think about what things are meaningful and how you can reconnect or indeed connect with them. Getting over heartbreak isn't easy, but there is no doubt that not having contact with your ex, especially in the early days, early weeks and potentially early months, is really important to your recovery from that. Take on board the 5 reasons that I've spoken about today about why you need to maintain no contact and reap the benefits of it in the long run. If you've enjoyed today's tips, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will give you plenty more tips on how you can use psychology on a day-to-day basis.